So guys, this week was a hectic week. We had a few jobs that we had to finish this weekend, and I think we managed quite well. So just as a quick summary, I made 15 groom buddies for Sasha. I made 4 name boards for the stables for Sasha as well. For I3A, I finished 4 boxes, book boxes. The wedding box goes with the 2 boards. I finished that as well. And then also for another buddy of mine, I finished a 2.3 by 115 frame that they're going to do canvas printing on. So it was a hectic week. Let me show you what we've done. Hey guys, and welcome to a very excited little wood shop. I would like to welcome you, or to welcome our new member of the workshop. I've been wanting one of these for many years, and yes, I've got one now. I'm so excited. It's not a sponsor. I bought this with my own money, and I would like to unbox it and show you what's inside. It's the new Capex KS60 miter saw, and it's going to replace the old Matabu KGS 216 miter saw that I've had that for 7 or 8 years now already. So yes, it's a bit of an upgrade, very big upgrade, and let's see what's inside the box. It looks like it's been resealed, but let's see. I'm so excited about this. I can't tell you how excited I am about this machine. I've really been wanting one of these for many years. So yes, we've got the books. KS60E. Another one of the clamps. I already have 2 of these that came with my track saw. Now I've got 3. Very nice, Peter. Ooh, it's so beautiful. Massive zip tie holding this together. Oops. Just feel the movement of this. It's such a smooth movement. I absolutely love it. Protector. So guys, the new KS60 will take this through its paces probably tomorrow or so. I'm not going to do any work with it tonight. We'll play with this tomorrow. I would like to introduce you to the newest member of the little wood shop. I've been wanting one of these for many years. At least 6 or 7 years I wanted one of these. It's the KS60E Festool miter saw. It's a gorgeous piece of kit and very accurate. An amazing machine. I was actually a few years ago, I think it's now about 4 or 5 years ago, I've been in the factory in Germany where these okies are being made, and since then I wanted one. And now we've got one, but mistakes were made by me. So I would like to just warn you so that when you order yours, don't make the mistakes I have made. I was all starry-eyed when I saw the new special going on them, and I got a voucher from one of the Festool representatives for 1,500 Rand, and then I decided it's my chance, I'm gonna get one. So I just ordered KS60E under the impression that you'll get a complete machine. By complete machine I mean about 3 years ago I sold one to my buddy Kunrad. He's also got exactly the same KS60E that he bought from the shop where I work. I sold it to him, and his came with the LED light that projects the line onto your material, as well as a bevel, when you call it a bevel gauge, that these come with. And I was all starry-eyed when I saw the price and I saw the model number, and I just ordered. It came here and I opened it last night, and I was quite surprised when I saw this thing hasn't got the LED light, or what Festool calls the spotlight, as well as not the bevel. Now the bevel I don't really care much about. I've got a Trent bevel to do those type of things, but the LED is for me quite important, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted a Festool. So yes, I'm a little bit disappointed in myself for not doing some research and just listening to the rep. So don't do that, make that mistake. Please guys, do your research when you order something as expensive and as big as this. Do your research. Seriously, this one apparently, if you want the laser in and the bevel, in this case, you must order the KS60E kit, not just the KS60E, which I didn't realize at that stage, because when I sold the one to Kunrad, that's the way they came. So yes, be careful, do your research, don't get all starry-eyed like me and just listen to the rep. Do your research first, then order. So what I've done now is I ordered the laser or the LED attachment that comes in here. Cost the extra 1,400 Rand. That hopefully will be here by the end of this week, then I'll put that in. Apparently I'm allowed to do that myself, according to the rep. I won't lose my all-inclusive guarantee that Festool comes with. I'm going to do my registration for the guarantee and everything later tonight. But we'll take this Okie through its paces. I'm very proud of it and I love this machine. It's one of the best miter saws I know. And we definitely will take it through its paces. But first, let's get some work done on the red oak boxes. Guys, the first thing that I do is I have to shorten the tenons to fit in the mortise. So that's just, I do that in a simple 3-step method. I just mark them shorter, cut them with a little dovetail saw on the shoulders, and then I cut them shorter on the bandsaw, staying clear of the shoulder, and then taking my file and just filing it flush to the shoulder. Let me show you. So my first cuts I just make with a dovetail saw. Now move to the bandsaw and just cut the shoulders. What I do there is I just leave a small little bit of shoulder left, which I will now clean with a file. So guys, the whole idea is, I don't know if you can see this, just to leave you with a nice crisp line. I've got another few to go. Same old, let's do it. So guys, the next job is now all the tenons are cut. I must now drill the little holes on the corners that's going to accept the tenons on the little spindles. So what I've done is I set my marking gauge to 14 millimeters, which is going to give me a nice equal distance everywhere. And all I do is I just score a small little mark that will actually be covered by the drill bit. Let me see if I do it on a sanded one, you'll see the line easier. I don't know if you can see the little crosshair then. That is basically the idea. I'm going to do that in all four corners, on all the pieces, and then just quickly drill 10 millimeter holes with a drill press to accept little tenons. Guys, that's all the holes drilled on all four corners, tops and bottoms, and this is just loosely assembled to show you the idea of what we've got, what this is supposed to look like. So this is just loose still, everything is loose, so it's not squared up or anything, but that's the basic idea. So I've got all the little spindles are done. I still have to do some sanding on some of the blocks. The bottom blocks still need to be sanded. Top blocks are sanded. Sides are sanded. I just have to sand that quickly. And I think by tomorrow night we're going to start assembling. Hi everyone. Welcome to a beautiful rainy day today. As you can see, I've fitted these together. It's just a dry fit. Nothing is glued or nailed or screwed together. I'll continue with that in a minute or two. I just first want to pour some resin. Henny once again did a great job on the CNC work for us. And I'm just going to pour the resin quickly in the two boards. And we'll get back to the red oak. Guys, welcome to a very rainy night. I hope you can hear me over the rain on the roof. But now we're going to start sanding the little boxes and do the final fit. So here and there's something that's a little bit too long, a little bit too short, so I'm going to trim everything, take them one by one, take them apart, make sure every one of the parts fit nicely. Put it one side, take the next one, sand it, make it fit, put it one side until I've got all four ready. And hopefully by tonight we'll have four of them in the glue and ready for this weekend to quickly do a spray job on them. So let's start sanding and making fit. So the little red oak boxes is glued. I'm waiting for the glue to dry, then we'll do some final finishing on that. I'll show you in a few minutes. Quickly now, quick in between project again, the guy that does the canvas printing. I must make a big frame for him quickly, 2.3 meters by 1150. And I bought some brand rings that's supposed to be 38 by 38. These are 36 by 34. So I'm just going to chase them through the planer quickly, get them all one size just to make the job easier. The first of a few tests. I'm going to see if I can cut the rebates or the half laps with a Festool. Apparently it's very good at that. So what I've done is I just clamped on a piece of scrap in the back, because the rounding of the blade, you can't cut a straight line without the backing in the back. So the spacer I've put, clamped it down on both sides, made myself a 0 clearance curve, and I'm going to cut. So with the boerenplan I've put my vacuum cleaner onto the Festool to see also how the dust collection fares. So let's cut a few rebates. So guys, what I've done is I've glued in the backs on the boxes, on the book boxes that we're making from red oak. And I'm quickly now just going to do a final hand sand because I gave it 2 coats of polyurethane. And I also glued on the bottom the little rubber buttons just so that it stands nice and doesn't sound like wooden wood when you put it down. So I'm just going to give it a quick hand sand because the grain is raised a little bit, and then I'm going to give it an oil, a beeswax and mineral oil mix, just for a final finish. And then we must put the little name tags that was printed by somebody, I don't know who, but I would like to know who this guy is, because it's funny how people don't really care about what they do. Not one of these are the same length. Not one of them are the same width. They're all wrong sizes, and it's what they call LU bond, I think. So it's quite difficult to cut neat and tidy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them smaller and all the same size before I glue them on. And I'm going to round the little corners just to make it look a little bit better than what this is. If there's one thing I really hate in life, is if you pay somebody to do something and you must go later and go fix the job or finish the job for them. I don't think it would have taken an extra 10 minutes just to get these things all the same. I'm sure they cut it on a CNC or something. Even if you cut on a table saw, it will look better than what these are. It's really, there's not one size that's the same. So it really, that's something that pees me off. But yes, I'm quickly going to sand them, oil them, and put the name tags, and then I'll show you what they look like. As a summary of the little red oak boxes that we're building, this is the first 4 that we've built. They are now done. Got the plates on, the name plates or name tags. They've been sanded, varnished, then again flattened, and then I gave them an oil. So the idea of what we've done, just as a summary, in the top block we've cut little rebates or dados, and then on the side panels, that's the 2 side panels, we've cut the tenons that fits into the dados. And then we turn some spindles that goes on the sides, and then there's a top that goes over it. This was the original design, so in the end we decided to make the bottom part a bit bigger, just to give it another little something for the eye. It came out very nicely. I think it came out nicely. I'm quite proud of it. I finished the bottom as well, put the buttons on so that it stands nice and steady and solid. And I'm quite happy with the project. It came out nice. The nameplates I glued on with double-sided tape the very thin double-sided tape that is, oh, they call it framers tape or something like that. It's basically sellotape that is double-sided, and it works a charm for this type of thing. They are very sturdy and fast. The miter saw actually works very nicely with a sharp blade, of course, to cut these shorter. And then I just used the disc sander and just rounded the corners a little bit, because everything on this is rounded corners everywhere. I just rounded the corners on the little nameplates as well. So these four are now done, ready for the customer. And there's another 16 to go, but that's over time. We've got some time to build them. These four are quite urgent. And for now, I'm quickly going to finish the name boards for the wedding box. I'll show you now what that is. I've casted the resin the other night. It's dry, so I can sand that and then just put little foot pieces on there. Then that project is done as well. What I have to do also quite urgently today is make 6 groom buddies for Sasha. She sold another 6 of them to some Horsey place, I don't know who. But we'll make that quickly. So, we're getting ahead. The big 2.3 meter frame is done as well. Just made it from 38 by 38 brand rings. And really, the new miter saw cuts potatoes or half flaps and miters like a dream. Nice and strong, the customer can come collect it. To install the miter saw properly, or actually temporarily at the moment, I just drilled a hole in the back, put my vacuum cleaner in the bottom, and put the hose on the vacuum cleaner. Because this thing's dust collection is actually quite amazing. I don't have a shop vac that switches on automatically, but luckily the vacuum cleaner I've got a little foot switch, so I just press it with a foot and then I can cut. Really, as you can see, the dust collection at the moment, the dust collection is way above what I've ever had. So I will definitely be using the dust collection always on this machine. And even if you look at the 45s, if you cut the 45 on this machine, it's actually a very good cut. Such a clean cut. I love this machine to bits. Really a nice cut. So yes, I will definitely be using the dust collection on this whenever I remember. So guys, a feature I want to share with you on this KS60 machine that I absolutely love is the depth adjustment for when you want to cut a tenon or a half flap in this case. You've seen me do half flaps on the frame there, and this machine makes it absolutely easy to do. You've got one big button in the back that just locks it from sliding forward and backward, so then it's fast. And then you've got one in the bottom there where you will lock it for transport. In my case, we'll never transport this will stay right here. The most amazing one is this little button there, in the green one, the long one. So if you want to cut, in this case, a half flap into your project, you're going to flip that forward. You're going to set the depth you want. By just turning it, you go up or down, and then it's set. So you can cut your half flap, then you can go back to just straight full cut. But if you need to in a while cut the same half flap, you just flip it forward and your setting is exactly the same. So that's quite amazing. Just remember, because of the curve of the blade, or the round of the blade, the radius, when you cut like this, you're going to cut around in your dado as well, or in your half flap. So usually what we then do is we put the spacer in the back and then cut it. Let me show you quickly. now basically. Your half lap cut. Now a bit of sanding and you're done. You go back to a full cut. And then just by flipping that forward, your setting is exactly the same. So that is definitely a setting I'll use quite often. Handy. Sasha is at the stables at the moment, and she just phoned and said that she sold another 6 of the groom buddies to another stables. So now I must make 12 quickly. So I'm gonna make 6 out of red oak, piece of red oak offcut I've got, and then I'm gonna make 6 from yellow wood. Let me cut the stock. Just to make it a bit easier on myself, I've cut the long parts for the groom buddies, and while it's long in one piece, I've put it through the router and routed the little finger grips and the roundovers while it's a long part, and then I sanded it to get most of the sanding work done on the long edges. So on the mitre, so I've put a stop block now, and I'm just going to cut the short pieces now. So most of the sanding is done. All that we have to sand now is the edges once I've put the blades. So just an idea for saving some time and make it easier on yourself, because inherently it's more difficult and more dangerous to push something as small as this through the router. It's much safer to put something long like this. You got much more grip and much more control over a piece like this than over a piece like this on the router table. So guys, we've got 15 of them cut out of the stock. I've marked now with a mitre gauge. I marked all the centers on the bottom that accepts a blade. Just highlighting them with a pencil to make it easier when I start cutting the little grooves. So now it's the very tedious job of cutting the grooves by hand. Guys, I only had enough blades for 9 of these, and I'll get some more blades on Monday. But so far the 15, Sasha can quickly do the laser work on them, put the logo on it. We're going to leave her to do that. Another little project I'm busy with quickly is making for my daughter Sasha, excuse me, I'm making some boards that for her and 3 of her friends. They're going to put this on the stable doors just as name boards for their horses. Spriggy, this is the horse that my daughter is riding at the moment, and she's going to nationals next week. I'm very proud of her, and lots of hard work, and she managed to make it. So I'm just making 4 of these little boards. I'm making it from cedar, and I just put a border on of red oak. I then lasered 100mm logo on. This is my daughter's logo, and then the name of the horse 150mm wide. The reason for that is my laser can only do 150 by 150. So I first burn all the logos, and then on a separate burn I burn the logos or the names. So I'm just waiting for this last one to finish quickly, then I'll quickly give him some polyurethane varnish, drill some holes and countersink them, and then we'll put them on the stable doors.